So welcome, thank you for following. This is Go Find Yourself. My name is Ken Childs. I am here at Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Costa Rica right now. I've just completed my 2 weeks of ayahuasca, back-to-back 2 weeks, and wow, what an experience actually. 25 shots of ayahuasca later, and I'm still here to tell a story, which is incredible. And I've got the lovely, beautiful goddess that's here to help everybody get through their journey and survive the ordeal, and she's been absolutely incredible at helping so many people. The lovely Candice Fox is with me right here, and I want to talk a little bit about your journey, because you last interviewed me, and that was on the Facebook Live for Rythmia, but you've got such an amazing story, and I want to really bring that out and to my audience. And so let's okay, how did it all start before you even got the Rythmia? Now, you had a health issue.
Yes, so it was back in 2011. Well, before that, 2009, I'd left England to travel the world. I was in a very destructive relationship, I was doing a lot of cocaine, and I was just in an environment that just really, I knew was not me, but it was like proximity. You know, people would come over with cocaine, and then my partner would come over and then just leave and like vanish for months on end and just didn't love me like I loved him. So I just knew that the environment was not me. So I left, went traveling, packed my bags, went around the world, and then ended up staying in Australia, got my working holiday visa. But then it was 2011 that my best friend and my little cousin Frankie, so Jay and Frankie, both got diagnosed with cancer. Wow. And both passed away because of the treatments of cancer. And so it didn't really dawn on me that there was any correlation with lifestyle and cancer at the time, until I got a diagnosis just a few months after they had passed. So it was like 5 days before my 28th birthday. Wow. And I got the diagnosis that I had papillary thyroid carcinoma. And then it was just all a whirlwind roller coaster ride from there. It was a battle between me logically thinking, well, I can heal a broken bone if given the right tools. I can produce a baby inside of me if given the right tools. And the only tools I was being provided by Western medicine was radiation and surgery at the time. And it just didn't seem right. It just didn't feel like the right tools. So I went into the surgeon's office and I said, you know, I'm really thinking that I can heal this naturally. And he just said, you know, if you do that, it's so extensive in your neck that in 6 months you will lose your vocal cords and you'll have no voice, and then in a year you'll be dead anyway. Wow. So it's just all this like fear, the overwhelming like confusion that built up inside of me, and I went... That's
pretty depressing.
Pretty, yeah. And they do say that once you get a diagnosis or a prognosis of any sort like that, they say your immune system literally halves, like with the fear and just the overwhelming like feeling of hopelessness. And I really felt like that. I really felt like, what else can I do? If I go down the natural route, everyone's telling me I'm going to kill myself. But yet if I go down the other route, I know people have died from that. People close to me have died. So there was just this like crazy battle of what is the right thing to do going on inside of my head. And so I spoke to my family and my husband at the time, and everyone was just like, you're crazy to not listen to the doctors. They know what they're doing. They've been doing this for a very long time. You know, they're educated. You know, what makes you think that you can heal it naturally? You know, you've never done anything like that before. And there was just this deep intuitive feeling that just knew that I could. But I was scared into surgery and radiation. And they said that thyroid cancer is one of the best cancers you can get, and easy to heal. You know, we just take out your thyroid, we radiate you, and then you go along your merry way. You can carry on eating, drinking, doing whatever you were doing before. It's no difference. But they didn't tell me that they expect the cancer to spread, because when you're taking cancer out, it's small scale cellular, like little cells, so they're going to spread, which is why they do radiation and chemo and things like that to mop up the spreadage. But with me, they said that they didn't expect it to get so aggressive and spread into my lung, into the lymph nodes in my chest more so, into the lymph nodes in the back of my neck. And I was just like, you were meant to save me. What happened? Like, I thought it was easy. They were like, oh, we didn't expect it to get so aggressive.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, so sorry. But you're looking at about 5 years max to live.
Oh.
Usually statistics show that people with this, you know, don't live past the 5-year mark. Mm-hmm. And so I just thought, you know what? fuck it, I'm going to listen to my intuition. And I totally blanked out anybody else's opinion of what I was doing, and I just hit Google. And I was like, natural cancer cures, because I just didn't want to die. I realized finally, after years of partying and not wanting to be here and not loving myself, that actually I did want to be here. So then I like stood up for myself and finally just said a big F you to everybody that told me their idea, their perception, their belief of what I should be doing, whilst I was ignoring the truth of what I was feeling. So then, I found lots of different people that had been doing it naturally and getting great results. Found a guy in LA who was healing people with the power of food and nutrition and nutraceuticals and just loving the shit out of yourself. So I adopted.
Which you got to do every day anyway.
That's it. That's all. That's one of the main things. So I adopted that, and literally within 6 months, I had got rid of the spread itch, because the only options that I was given by Western medicine was that they wanted to cut me again. So they'd already taken my thyroid and my parathyroid was in error. They wanted to slice me down my chest, shave off some of my lung, radiate me again, and then chemo. And it was and it was as soon as they said the word chemo, because I'd lost loved ones to that specific treatment, that I just thought, you know what, no, that's what really pushed me into like going off and doing my thing. And plus the Western medicine, well, they'd said, we can't do anything more for you for a year because you've had enough treatments right now, but go off, come back in a year, and that's when we'll give you the surgery, the radiation, the chemo. And then that's when I said to them, do I need to change anything? Do I need to change my diet? They said diet has nothing to do with it.
Oddly enough, what you put in your body has nothing to do with your health.
But the fucked up thing about that is that their scan to see if there's cancer in the body was a glucose-based solution.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it was just like, how does that compare? Like, I don't understand how food has nothing to do with it. Why are you using like a glucose source to see if it's the cancer's eating that up? Or I just was, there was just too many like confusing like contradictions happening, and it was just a bit too much. And then after the 6 months, once I got rigorous, I created cell apoptosis. So I was starving the cancer cells for 10 days. So 10 days, it would be fruit only, tropical fruit enzymes, particularly pineapple, because it's got bromelain in it and it ate the protective protein layer of the cancer cell. So that was day 1 to 10. Days 8, 9, 10, I would take high-dose nutraceuticals, vitamin K3 and sodium selenite, which can be found in leafy green vegetables. But once you get a really good source of like the pure, the pure essence of it, you take that for the last few days of that cycle, and it like acts like natural chemo, but it's target specific for the cancer, and it doesn't do anything to the good cells. You know, it's like, whereas chemo kills all the cells, which is why you lose your hair and you throw up, this literally doesn't do anything, because you've been on such a methionine restricted diet, which is the building block of cancer, which is found prolifically in meats and like animal proteins. So you highly limit that, and with the tropical fruits only, you get the enzymes. So you're not only starving the cancer cell of what it needs, you're giving your body so many antioxidants, enzymes, nutrients, minerals with the fruit. And then you're not damaging it with the high-dose nutraceuticals. You're just zapping the cancer cell because it's in such a weakened state. And then days 11 to 14, you just eat plant-based foods to refuel, you know, avocados, quinoa. You just load up on food and then you do it again. So you literally do the whole 14-day protocol over and over again. So you're creating cell apoptosis. So you're starving the cancer cells, zapping it, refeeding, starving, zapping, refeeding, so it doesn't get comfortable. And then after the 6 months of doing that, meditating, getting rid of toxic people, toxic things, toxic everything out of my life, then that was it. I was good to go. It was like, I went to the doctors, went for the scan, went for the checkup, and they were like, oh, it's gone from level 13 to 0.7. And I said to them, I said, I want you to say to me that this was nothing that you done this. And she goes, it's not possible that it's anything to do with us, but we still want to give you more radiation for that 0.7, because that 0.7 is what is going to cause a secondary cancer, and that's what's going to kill you. So it's just this fear tactic over fear tactic over fear tactic. And I was just like not subscribing to it. And I never went back. I did say to her, I said, I don't think you're a bad person. You deal in radiation. Like, that's your thing. You came into this profession to help people, and you learned that radiation helps people, and you've got all the studies and everything and all the text, but you don't deal in broccoli, you don't deal in enzymes, you don't deal in papaya. You're not going to say you have this papaya, it's going to heal you, And I get that. I said, so I'm just prescribing to something different. Thank you for all your love and support. I'm not going to come back here. And I never did. And she was right. That 0.7 was tricky. It took a few years to get because it was really small scale, like cellular cancer left in the body somewhere. But it's gone now. I've got 0.1
Beautiful.
reading. And that led me onto this whole path of healing with nature and getting back to the true essence of me. And led me here to rythmia, to drink plant medicine every week, to continue to get to the cause of what really caused the cancer, what was going on for me, trauma, abuse, all sorts of stuff that I didn't even know was going on.
Suppressed emotions.
The medicine showed me and allowed me to purge that out. And so once I got over the main bulk of my traumas through the medicine, died a few times on the medicine, now it's just like maintenance. Like I can purge out an argument that I had last week, or a thought that I had, or it just becomes a maintenance process. And you've seen the power of this medicine is absolutely profound, because it's all well and good me healing myself with nature, and I did that and it worked, but still it's just doesn't get to the pure level of what is the emotional issue here. It's like I could do all this yoga, meditation, I can do all that, but this plant medicine really shows you who you've become, merges you back with your soul at all costs, and then heals your heart. And there's no other course, no other anything I've ever done that has ever been able to reach the depths of healing that this medicine has.
No, it's absolutely incredible. And like when you talk about the cancer, call it it's like a business. They know the market price of a papaya, so they're not making any. They're not making any money off of selling that stuff. And
they're trying. They're making like pharmaceutical bromelain, and like they're trying to take nature and make it into their own, cashable kind of product. But the body doesn't recognize these things.
Well, you can't, because if it's not a whole substance,
it has to be the whole fruit.
Because it is all interchanged, intertwined.
Because we don't even know the full depth of a fruit. We know, like, we've got a list of a few minerals and vitamins that are in it, but we don't know the depth of the communication of the body. The body
energy
understands it so well. The body knows exactly what to do with it, which is why when you're on fruit only, it's as if you're not even eating, because the body isn't putting any energy really into breaking it down or wondering what the fuck it is.
It just assimilates it automatically.
It just does, and then your body has just got the rest of the energy to heal and keep you alert, and just made so much sense once I started really working it out and realizing the whole way that we're actually designed to eat and how we should be looking after our body, even to the point where even a lot of people are having like vegan shakes, vegan proteins, putting 1,000,001 ingredients into one shake. The body still doesn't understand all that. So it's like, just get back to pure nature, simple, no modified food, no GMO food. I mean, Dr. Sebi, he's incredible, and he
was.
Well, yeah, exactly. And there's been like he was healing so many people of AIDS, HIV, cancer, lupus, blindness, through getting back to nature. Getting back to nature and not modified stuff, alkaline foods, and like really just loving yourself like never before. And Dr. Robert Morse. Robert Morse, incredible as well. He's amazing. Like, check him out on YouTube. He's helping people heal with the power of fruit and nature, and he's also a trained naturopath. So when you watch his videos, it's literally like you are educating yourself to a naturopathic level. And I've done a naturopathic degree and learned more with Dr. Robert Morse watching his YouTubes than I did in this degree. So it's crazy.
It's incredible. And one of the things is that people have a little misconception about is that fruits, they always think that are higher in sugars. Cancer feeds off of sugar. But it's not. It's not. This is, again, misinformation.
It's it's one of the biggest myths and lies out there, because if that was the case, my cancer would have spread to a horrendous amount and I wouldn't be here. It's such a lie, because if you think about what the media puts out and the biggest thing that they do to kind of like create this scare, like fearful environment, you just do the opposite in most part. Because if they're saying
go that way, that's what it's like. The stock market, when they're saying buy, you do the opposite.
Exactly. It's so much nature and simplicity in fruit, and we design for it. Read 80-10-10 by Dr. Douglas Graham.
Oh, good.
He
That's a good one.
is incredible. Dr. Douglas Graham, or is it Graham Douglas? I think it's Douglas Graham. Yeah, he like talks about, you think about like a baby, you put a baby in a room with a piece of fruit and a baby pig. Like the baby's more inclined to eat the piece of fruit than it is the baby pig. And you know, we don't start satiating when we look at an animal. It's only when it's like in its like burger state or on the plate that we do, when we separate that it's an actual animal, because we're not designed for it. We don't have like fangs like carnivores.
Well, what we do as well too is we'll take that product, let's call it a piece of chicken or a pork or whatever, and then we have to marinate it.
Yeah.
Then we have to add sauce to it and herbs and spices or whatever. And there's a whole theatrical thing that happens with making it taste good, because if you just taste it as a very raw product, it doesn't taste very good.
And imagine eating into raw flesh. Imagine if you had to kill and then eat your food like that. You wouldn't like it. The process of killing an animal and just like ripping into the meat. It's just not. It's not healing at all. And the only thing that actually makes meat taste half edible is uric acid, which is the animal's piss. So when they're killed and slaughtered, not only are you taking in the fear that they've been going through, the hormones that they've been pumped into, but the only thing that actually makes it taste good is because they like the piss inside of them, their urine coats all of their muscles and everything, and that's what makes it taste good. If you look at kosher meat, when it's drained of all the blood and all the urine and everything, it's totally different taste to what you get when you're eating like meat that's not been drained. It is literally the only thing that makes it taste half decent is the piss content of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I know.
I didn't know the piss content thing. I didn't really. Yeah. That's, wow, see, this is why you watch stuff like this, to get educated.
I didn't know it either, and when I learned that, I was like, that's rank. Like, what are we doing to ourselves?
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about ayahuasca, because ayahuasca seems to be my favorite subject lately, because I think it is like the one pill. To me, it's like become the one pill. After therapy, after psychosis, after, oh my God, like travels and meditation, all these things, which have been wonderful, and they've been absolutely a piece of the puzzle. It's just to go to the deep end is the ayahuasca. So now how did you get into ayahuasca? Like how did this happen?
Well, I was in Western Australia, and I was on this healing path of just really wanting to find out why I got cancer. I knew I was a breeder because of the way I was living, like bad relationships, bad choices, bad food, drugs and all that. But I knew that there was like an underlying root cause, because I had been quite unhappy growing up. My parents divorced, and I turned to drink and drugs and just didn't want to be here anymore. And I just wanted to know more about me and heal in the most profound way. I just knew that there was an answer out there that I needed. And so in the community in Western Australia, there's like lots of hippies and stuff like that. And the word ayahuasca just kept coming to me, to the point where there was this guy who became a really good friend. He was just barefoot walking through Fremantle, and he just come up to me and we started talking, and he just said to me, you know, you should go and sit with this lady who does ayahuasca. She does amazing circles. And that was it. Booked, went to it, and the first 5 ceremonies that I had with them, it was like every once a month, was just so beautiful and profound. I was so scared going in. I took photos of all my family, thought I was going to die, but it wasn't enough to not make me do it, because I knew I needed answers. I knew there was something deeper. But I had the most beautiful experiences, so beautiful to the point that I knew that I needed to keep drinking this medicine, to just keep going deeper. And then how I found rythmia was beautiful, because I was helping the guy in LA who had initially helped me heal myself, and I was going to move in with him and help him. So I was in LA, and he had been to Malibu viewing of The Reality of Truth, and he booked us both to come here. So that we could help people in a more profound way from different understanding. It turned out that he couldn't go, so I came here on my own, and I'm like in awe of this place, so much so that I was a writer for several publications, and I thought, this is definitely one of the places I could write about. So it just so happened that I bumped into Brandy in the spa, told her about who I wrote for, and she goes, yeah, girl, she goes, come back, we'll comp you a week. And I was like, okay, I am coming. Within a few months, I was back and I was writing about the place, and it was just as magical as it was the first time, but the ceremonies were so different for me, because as opposed to just being all beautiful in Western Australia, hugging and loving myself, here I really went to the depths of hell and got all my answers. It wasn't just all love and fairies and unicorns and all that beautiful stuff that you need. I really like died on the medicine, got through like the walls of suppressed emotions and thoughts, and like just found out that there was just so much abuse and anger inside of me that I never even knew. So when I had started to feel all this and go through it, and then to really appreciate the polarity of the dark and the light, life just started to make so much sense that I just felt like this was my calling to be here. And I kind of just sat on the medicine one day looking at the moon and stars, and I was like, I feel like I need to be here. But I had a partner, a beautiful house, sports cars, a business, all these things that you think define success in Western Australia, but I was just never really happy there. Yeah. And so I knew that by being here and serving thousands of people, as opposed to being in Western Australia and just doing what I was doing there, was going to be more productive and more aligned. Right. So I just kind of put the wish out there to the stars and the moon. And then it just so happened that I had done my yoga teacher training. And I had just done a month of doing that. And then I was here doing a yoga class, and the yoga teacher was leaving unexpectedly. And Shiva Ray, the incredible yogini, it was her thought leader week here. And I just mentioned it to her that I'd done my yoga teacher training, and she goes, "You are meant to be the yoga teacher, the replacement." And I was like, oh, yeah, it was just like that. I was like, no, I've never taught a class apart from in my training. Like, I didn't do it to teach people. And she said, "No, love, you're meant to be the yoga teacher." She put a word into Jerry. Next thing I know, I'm booked for 3 months to volunteer here. Wow. Rang up my partner back home, and I was just like, I'm not going to be home for 3 months. I'm going to volunteer here. And he was so loving and so supportive that he was just okay, because he worked away anyway. So it just worked out really well. And then I left, and I went back home, and there was just still this emptiness there. I was just like, I'm here like giving love to one man who's hardly ever here because he works away, and I'm not happy here. And then here I felt so fulfilled, and I was healing every week. I was just teaching yoga and drinking medicine every week. That was it. And then it got to the point where I knew I needed to come back, and Jerry actually called me up and said, "We want you to come back. Will you come back?" And I was like, yeah, I will. And then I came back, and it was only going to be volunteering again. And then a few really hard cases happened, a lot of people with psychosis, and it seemed that I could help the hard cases. It's like when 6 other shamans had tried, or it just seemed like I was like always the last resort and would always break through, and really good at getting into somebody's mind. And then I think because of that, Jerry saw like value in me and asked me to stay longer.
Beautiful.
So then I had to call my partner at the time, and he was okay with it again, and totally not wanting to do the medicine because I asked him to come with me. He was training to be a cop, so I respected and appreciated that because he's such a good guy. Let him do his thing. He was letting me do my thing. And then it got to the point where, Jerry just wanted me to stay more permanently. Wow. So, yeah, it was just...
And here you are.
Here I am, man.
You're a flower in the garden here.
Very, 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 very happy about being here. Yeah.
Well, let's just talk quickly about suppressed emotions, because this is what I see, like that being here, that you don't see a lot of people that are unhealthy on the outside here, more or less. You see people that have the unhealthiness on the inside, and suppressed emotions is, it shows up later in your life when you bury things and it comes out and expresses itself. And I think, if we can just talk about how does that play out? Now, that played out with you with cancer. So how else does it play out in people's lives when they have issues or they have unhappiness in their life, and they just keep trudging through the pain of it all, and they don't find a way out? What happens to those people?
Well, it can start in so many ways. Like, it can make you feel like really unhappy, so you're snappy and you're to the point where you just can't take it anymore, and then it just changes.
Depression.
Yeah, it can lead to depression and anxiety, and it's literally just because your thoughts, your speech, and your actions are out of alignment. Yeah. So you're all out of whack, and then on top of that, you've got these stored traumas, stored emotions, and there's just this confusion of who am I? Who am I meant to be? It's like a lost soul trying to find their place in life, or to even feel if they actually belong.
Right.
So it can play out in just so many different ways. It can lead to eating disorders, dis-ease, like in my case, or just simply as like wanting to just not be in your environment anymore, wanting to commit suicide and not be here anymore. Yeah. And it stems in most part from the split from when you were like a child. So we're designed to split. We're designed to split from our soul, whether that's in the womb, your parents are arguing, you know, you got some energy from your mom that wasn't so like comforting, to up to 5, you know, you're not fed on time and all these things. And we're designed like that because this is a school. Yeah. We come here to split and then to remember and then to learn. So it's really important to remember that whatever trauma, anything that you're going through is perfect. It doesn't feel like it at the time.
It's intentional.
It's all intentional because it gets you to this point where you're watching a video like this, or you're coming to a retreat like this, and you want to make change.
And you got the phone in your other hand because you're ready to make the call and call something.
It's like you need something like this to be the catalyst to get you to the point of remembrance of who you truly, truly, truly are. And then that's from there where the magic unfolds, because you start seeing life as magical and not just like everything is happening to me. It's like, oh my gosh, everything is happening for me. This suffering, this bad relationship, it's all perfect, because when one door shuts, another one always opens. And upon reflection, you see that. It's like me getting cancer. At the time, I'm like, fuck, why me? Like, I'm a good person. Why do I get it? Poor me. And then now I look and I'm like, thank fuck that door shut, because so many doors shut because of that diagnosis. My relationship at the time stopped, my job stopped, where I was living stopped, everything stopped, and I went back to square one where I had nothing. I was living with my yoga teacher, no husband anymore, no money, no like high paying job. I literally had nothing, thought that my world was over, but just like the caterpillar, I turned into the butterfly because of that catalyst. And so for metamorphosis to happen with you, there has to be some kind of door shutting, and you have to try to just appreciate when that's happening, whatever it is, diagnosis, somebody, you lose somebody in some form, whatever it is for you, just trust that it's a necessary part of your awakening. It's all meant to be.
So now let's talk about alignment, you know, because once you have identified and you've gone through these things, these pains and these traumas, and emotionally you've, say, found your way through it with ayahuasca. And I'm just going to use ayahuasca as the cure for this.
Yep.
Because I haven't found anything that is.
No.
And ayahuasca has been the only treatment that I've received that actually works, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's deep.
Yeah, it's very deep. So now you have one aspect of your alignment, because now you find yourself. Now let's talk about what's the other things to get your alignment, because when you have that as a basis, and you put your alignment, which is putting your, you know, identifying yourself and then your purpose, and then having the higher knowledge of all things being, then you can manifest. And now you can change your life completely. So let's talk about that, because you had that whole experience in a beautiful way.
Yeah, it truly was a gift. And I came to realize that there are so many doors to the same source. So you can drink ayahuasca, which is a real quick way to get to the source, like equate into years of meditation.
That's like the high-speed train.
It's the quick queue in. And so you've got the door of ayahuasca, then you've got door of meditation, door of yoga, door of breath work. All of these are doors, but they all go to the same source, which is your higher self and the truest essence of who you truly are, that inner child. So for me, it's like having a balance, like doing something every single day that connects you spiritually. So every day, wake up, do a morning ritual, yoga, meditation. Meditation should be twice daily for at least 30 minutes, at least 30 minutes of time.
And why?
And why? So that you are literally listening and tuned in to the correct frequency. If you're in the frequency of your ego and your mind and the negative chatter and believing like, everyone's against you and just stuff that isn't serving you, you're on a frequency that really is not serving you. But if you can just close your mind down for 30 minutes twice a day, you can literally tune your frequency. As you are a radio transmitter, you can tune your frequency to listen to the nothingness that is everything and everything and all that you need. It is literally just the true higher self up there, and it's so calm. And once you're on that frequency, you can hear downloads of the next steps for you. You can really hear the truth. But if your mind is in the way telling you shit, it's like the unhealthy ego. It's like you're being led by something that actually isn't truly aligned.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're on a clear frequency to your higher self, to pure consciousness, they're not going to lead you astray up there. We've got guides, we've got our higher self, we've got archangels. We've got so many pure, loving light beings that just want the best for us and to guide us if we choose to connect.
Right.
And so using that door every day is super, 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 super powerful beyond measure. Yoga connects you in with the body and the breath, but ultimately it's like movement meditation. And when you connect your body and your breath together, it's a powerful tool, which is why breath work alone is powerful. Here at Rythmia, breath work, the transformational breath that we do here, because we produce DMT in our lungs, and it's super powerful. You can get the same visions that you do as you are on the medicine. So it's like clearing all your energy channels, filling your body with pranic life force, and really cleansing the body to decalcify the pineal gland and allow you to connect into who you truly are, and to truly know that you're never alone. We have guides, we have our whole universe inside of us, and it is just so magnificent. So to stay connected to all these things once daily is literally like keeping yourself aligned. So whether you're meditating, doing yoga or breathwork a day, come in and doing a yoga or an ayahuasca retreat every 6 months, a year, just to cleanse yourself out. World of good for you truly connecting to who you truly are, and then everything becomes so easily aligned because you're not lying to yourself anymore. You've not got a trauma blocking you. You've not got different walls. You're not listening to this unhealthy ego, and you're not living from fear. You're living from love and a healthier ego.
Absolutely.
So it becomes a lot easier once you clear out the muck of your temple.
Well, this morning it was interesting. Thank you for that. I was talking to a lady that she had, before she came here, her daughter found her suicide note. So she wrote a suicide note, and she had it in a plastic baggie with all the pills that she was going to take. And so her idea was, when at some point in time she was going to pop all these pills, pull out the suicide note and leave it there, and then say goodbye to everybody. But her daughter found it, and she was telling me the state that she was in before she came here. But she's saying it now to me with this big ear-to-ear grin on her face, because she actually had completely changed her perspective of what her value of her life is through ayahuasca. She was given a big, beautiful download of information, and she got to re-look at her life. And now she's going home super excited to her daughter and to her brothers and sisters and everybody, to hug and embrace them, and it saved her life. And that's exactly what she had said. So these are the things that happen here. That's one of many.
Yeah.
Unbelievably many.
I've seen so much.
You've seen everything.
Epic stuff. This is why I do what I do, because if you think, like I said, my life before was what people would define as success, and
Yeah.
how could you leave such a beautiful life? My house was overlooking Perth skyline and nature reserves and really comfortable living.
Yeah.
But when you come somewhere here, like, what you witness and experience for your own healing and then other people's healing, and I just had my little sister here and saw her healing, you just can't get this anywhere else in the world, like these experiences. So I think everybody should just drink ayahuasca, even just once in their life, just to experience it, and then just to know that there is something else, and not live in the invisible like chains of fear that most people are living in, and the constructs of society and how they should fit in, and to be loved. It's just all bullshit stories that people tell themselves.
Yeah.
But ayahuasca allows us to break free from that and seeing and experiencing so many different healings on different levels. It's going to be hard for me to top this chapter in my life, you know, like seeing what I'm seeing and witnessing what I'm witnessing.
Oh, I know. How do you? You know, it's so
I know.
magical.
I'm like, oh God, am I going to be here forever? Because it's just going to be hard to top. But then I'm just like, life is going to take me exactly where it needs to, because I have the deepest trust, like it's extraordinary trust in the universe.
That's the other thing we got to talk about.
Just extraordinary trust in the universe. Like once you surrender and trust, it's the same on the medicine. If you are coming in with blocks and walls, like I'm so broken, she's not going to be able to fix me, then there's a block and a wall, it's going to be harder. But the main thing is just to surrender and trust and breathe and know that she is a mother's energy.
Yes.
The medicine is a mother spirit, so she just wants you to be a better version of yourself. She's either going to spank you on the arse and give you, you know, some tough love, or she's going to hug it out, and you're going to get a bit of both. But ultimately, she wants you to be a better version of yourself. So when you have that extreme trust for this divine energy, and you go to hell and back and you feel like you're dying, then you didn't die, nothing can faze you. And you realize that none of this is really real anyway. It's all just part of this beautiful game of life. And the ultimate prize is pure unconditional love. And you have to operate from pure unconditional love to get to the ultimate prize of just walking each other home on this earthly plane of school to get to where we're truly from, which is consciousness. We are pure consciousness, experiencing consciousness, and just learning how to be better people on the way. It's beautiful. Then you don't fear anything. You just like trust. I don't fear death. I don't fear tomorrow. I don't fear what anyone's thinking of me. I don't really give a shit because I'm in my own little love bubble.
Because you go above that.
Yeah, and I know that the universe has definitely got my back. And as long as I'm sticking to my part of the deal and, you know, not hurting my soul again and being the best version of myself and being a good person and always operating from love, then it just flows naturally. Abundance, true wealth, health, everything comes when you're literally living in that higher state of being. It's so beautiful and so simple, but we complicate it, and that's the way it's designed. So,
well, if you want to look at it a very simple way, the way I started looking at it actually is that you have this planet that's been around for what, 3.5 billion years? And it's had life on it really ever since, some form of life, one way or another. And we have this beautiful fauna that exists on this magnificent earth that is, it's so beyond that we don't quite understand it. But yet, at the same point, this is where this medicine comes from. So who would you trust, 3.5 billion years of evolution, or would you trust a human in a laboratory going, here, take this pill, it'll solve your problems? So, you know, Mother Nature has got infinite wisdom, and Mother Nature provides us with ayahuasca because it is natural and it is straight from fauna. And so who do you trust? If you're going to take anything in your life, take that and leave behind the pharmaceuticals, leave behind all this other stuff that they're always peddling, because it's an industry. It's there to make money, and not necessarily it's a cure by any means. But this, what we're experiencing in this place here, is truly miraculous. It's unbelievable. I can say it for myself because I've been there and back, and nobody will ever convince me otherwise, no matter what. Ever convince me that what I didn't go through was not real, because it was more real than I'm sitting here right now. And that is the truth.
I agree. That's why I've got no problems on the Facebook Lives or in any conversation speaking about like my encounters with aliens, light beings, seeing people purge out their breast lumps. I've got no qualms saying any of it because I experienced it. I know what my truth is, and nobody else's perception or opinion of what they think my truth is or what the actual truth is going to shatter what I know to be true and what I've experienced. And once you experience it, you have that strength in you because you're like, no one can dim my light anymore. Nobody.
No. And we are here to help each other. That's all our purpose. All our purpose. Everybody on this planet.
Everybody just wants to help. We know everybody just wants to help. Everybody, you know, people get bulimia or they something traumatic happens. It's like always ends up being that they want to help somebody through that. Like I just watched some documentaries last night about some ladies that were 3 ladies snatched from the street. And were kept in this man's house for 10 years and used in all sorts of fucking sordid ways. And Or each and every one of them has come out of that so strong, beautiful women, and all they want to do now, they've written books, they are traveling the world helping people that have been through trauma like that and how they can overcome it.
Yeah.
So it's like if you can go through 10 years of being in someone's cellar and go through the most horrific things that I can't even comprehend experiencing, and then still come out and all you want to do is help, it just shows that our underlying thing that we want to do is just help and be better people. But it takes traumas and experiences to get that realization that that's what we want to do, and then we get back to pure unconditional love.
So I just want to make a claim here that, so for all you people that I hurt and all you the people that I gave a hard time to and everything, I'm sorry about it, but it was for your higher good. Trust me.
Yeah.
Because that's the fact. Because everybody is sandpaper, and I've been grinded, and because of my hardships that I've gone through, I've dug down and I've come to this place where I'm actually sitting and having a wonderful interview right now. And I fixed a lot of the loose bolts on my wagon, and actually it's all nice and shiny and polished right now, so I'm good to go. So
Just trusting that everything's perfect.
It is.
Everything is a lesson. Every single person that comes into your life is a lesson and a blessing. Like, it's just, what are you choosing to believe? Are you choosing to be a victim to your situation, or are you choosing to turn it into your power and really grow and learn? Like, every single little thing, that every single millisecond, every nanoparticle of everything can be turned into a lesson and a blessing with your mindset.
because it's easy to walk away. It's easy to, just if something's not working right, you just go, oh, forget it, and you walk away. We're constantly looking for comfort. But in the comfort, we don't find growth.
No.
So we have to walk into the fire.
Step outside of the comfort
We
zone,
have to
and
go,
that's where the growth is.
we have to go into the hard. We have to go into the wind,
fire.
into the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So I think we covered lots of stuff, and thank you
Yeah,
so much
thank
for your
you.
time
You're
and your
amazing.
interview, and for everything that you bring here. It's amazing, and keep watching as these things unfold. And I think I'm totally ayahuasca bound now. I'm gonna,
Yeah.
That's my message.
It's going to be a regular.
It's going to be a regular. I am. Jerry said to go open up my own ayahuasca retreat center.
Do
You
it.
never know.
I will definitely come visit. That
Awesome.
would be so epic. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for everything.
Thank you.
That was beautiful.
That was good.
Yay.
Thank you. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.